Good morning, everybody. We are here with Born to be Venture. We are a coaching company and we help people to make informative decisions how to invest in Mexico. And we are focusing right now in Riviera Maya. My name is Veronica Guerrero, and I'm one of the coaches and owners of Born to be Venture. And today we have one of our partners, Emiliano Potignano. Good morning, Emiliano. How are you today?
Hello, Veronica. Good morning. Good morning. Super well, super well. Just starting the week. I'm very excited to be here with all of you. I'm Emiliano. I introduce myself. I'm Emiliano. I have a real estate company uh, in Mexico. The name is C Realty, and we specialize into finding the best opportunities in the market using different strategies and a lot of know-how of the market. So yes, we are very excited to be here.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, and we will talk this morning about why you should invest in the Riviera Maya right now. There is a lot of opportunity right now, a lot of great investments from the Mexican government happening in that area. There's the Mayan train that is going to be opening this year, and also the airport in Tulum, and so many other things like the Howard Park that is happening in Tulum. That park is going to be even bigger than the Central Park in New York, and also even bigger than the Bosque de Chapultepec Park in Mexico City. That's amazing, and a lot of people is investing in Tulum, and there are a lot of developers, and we will talk a lot of about that. Like people from all over the world is buying land and developing these beautiful projects that are unique. And let's talk about some of those, Emiliano, because I know you have worked with some of the best. And yeah, tell us a little bit why it's a great thing to do for our investors.
Yeah, sure. Well, besides, my background is more in terms of engineering, marketing, and market analysis. So I would like to always focus the narrative from that side point because yes, all that is happening, like the government funds, the parks, everything that's happening there is super exciting. But also, I think the best part is that it's still backed by data. If you see, like the occupancy rates are like still super strong, much better than pre-COVID. Uh, the the development is being crazy, the investment is being crazy. Like it's like super. I think it's like still it's a pretty new market. Still is a good opportunity. It's early to start investing there. So I think that's great because it's like you can have a better surplus in your investment, right? You are not buying at the max price of the market. You are buying still in a relatively cheap season. Still, the occupancy on the rise is very strong. So because you can expect the rise being from 7 to 10% per year. So honestly, the market is being really strong there. And as the opportunities, yes, I mean, it will depend. There are a lot of projects there, and I think it's will be really valuable to the audience to see what is the difference between immediate delivery versus pre-sale, and which projects to pick out from there, right?
Yeah. And let's talk about that, like the pre-sale opportunity, because I can talk for my experience. Like that is also like a great opportunity for equity, right? Like when we bought, it was like 110K, $110,000, and right now the same project in just over a year is 170. It's more than 50% like equity. And Mexico in general, if you see the statistic, has Mexico as a country has been constantly going up like a 10%. Of course, Riviera Maya and specifically Tulum have been seeing things like in the 20s, 25%, right? That's That's a great thing also besides cash flow for rentals. That is also a great opportunity for people who wants to buy and then sell. Yeah, that's and we will talk about pre-sales right now, like some of the options, but something to keep in mind is the equity. If you don't want to be a renter or having an investment doing cash flow, just to buy and sell later is a great opportunity. But Emiliano, talk a little bit about the how pre-sale works and what is that for our listeners.
Sure. Well, the pre-sales basically is I don't know how it's in the US. Do you know the name of this? Maybe you can edit this later, Anthony. Here is Departamento Semposo in Argentina. How do you say that? Pre-sale is pre-sale in US, right?
Yeah, it's not very common, but yeah, and I think the term friends and family, I only have heard that in Mexico, but yeah, I think it's in the United States we can relate with that. It's not like friends and families when it's not open to the public, and then there is when the project starts is usually is going to be new developers. There is going to be pre-sale, right? Like before is ready. Let's say it in that way, right? It's under construction, and sometimes it's not even under construction. It's just renders, right? It's just like us, like we just bought under a render, and you need to trust, and that's what we are here to inform you which developers to choose, right? Because we don't work with all the developers, we just work with the ones that have a proven records, and Emiliano has a great system to identify that people. Yeah, let's what is a pre-sale, Emiliano, and why is great to buy under a pre-sale?
Well, a pre-sale basically is like there is a project under construction, still is under development, not ready for live, or even is still not under construction. That maybe that sounds strange for some of the listeners, but it's like a really cool system because it's where you can get more equity and you can get more surplus in the sale after it finish the development. So, but basically what we try to find always is like we try to find the best developers that we has the best track records. The use of the land is legal. Everything is working like well in the best interest of the investors. I think there is where if you are thinking more long term, and even if you don't want to get, because another advantage is the financial system that they have, because you usually get direct financing by the developers, not by the bank. So that's cool because you maybe enter super early to a project that is going to take 2-3 years to get finished, but you get, I know, with after you sell it, we have seen case where you sell it for more than 100% of the price that you purchase in the pre-sale, because it's super good. The downside of this is that you should be very well informed. That's why we are here, because if you make a blunder when you pick up the project and there was shady practices or not fully legal sounds in the land, and this kind of things can, of course, get a blunder and you will lose your money, right? Or getting a super troublesome experience with delayed deliveries and that. So I think if there is now I think in the market there is we have a pretty solid strategy to identify, because it's relatively easy when you are very inside the market to know which developers are trying to testing the waters and see if they can develop in Tulum, where are people that has a lot of experience, and you know that they are designing a project that will have surplus occupancy. Now I think we can identify relatively easily that because we have a lot of years experience in the market, right? But I think is where the opportunities are. If you have the capability to wait more long term, or if you don't want to get in the get to negotiate with the bank for a credit or something like that, it's like a super good way to finance property and get the best equity possible you can get in the market.
That's great because you avoid the interest rates that, and if you can wait and you have the capability to pay in the entire value of the property in 2 or 3 years, that is usually the construction time, is when you get more for your money. Like you can even, and some of the developers also offer, right, Emiliano, like some incentives if you are going to pay like an amount, like if you are going to pay like 90% or the full amount or 80%, they will have amazing incentives to discounts, right? That's
Yes, yes, that's something that is very hard uh, to do if you purchase in a fully developed project, right?
yeah.
So yes, because it's less flexible. Uh, so yes, I think that's something great. Also, I will don't discard. I think sometimes when people from, for example, from the US, uh, is doing like fully delivered projects, it's mostly because the security or maybe not the don't because they don't have the information, they don't have information from market hosts. So they are like, okay, I want to invest in Mexico. I don't want to run any problem, so I just purchase this and that. But I think if you take the time and you get to know like a good coach on as we are doing here, maybe and not just here. I mean, there are more people in the market. It's not too. We really don't want to be pushy on there. Yes, I mean you can get a very informed, very good informed decision, and where you can get a better opportunity and more from your money. I think the fully developed project is cool. What I will observe if I were going to do a fully developed project is that what are the numbers? That is the best thing because sometimes uh, how to say that is like I have seen a lot of people like doing fully delivered projects, not asking for numbers, running in a big problem later,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. and
Yes,
i
yes. So
and I think, and that's our value, like making sure that we have a system to analyze those developers, and that's where Emiliano specializes in making sure that they have a proven record, that they have other projects completed, that is somebody who have all their paperwork in place, because Mexican regulations are strict, and we want to make sure that our clients have uh, that the project is not going to stop, right? That they have the financials in place, that they have the capital in place to finish the projects, and we are able uh, to deliver, right, what we are promising. And that's what is important to go with a company like us to make sure that, because a lot of our clients ask us, are they going to finish the project? I've heard a lot of stories about some developers not finishing, and I said we just work with people who has proven record that they will finish a project, right? And make sure we just work with those, not with the people who have some projects not finalized, or they are having a hard time to find the money to finish. But yeah, because there is a lot of development going on in Riviera Maya, and it's so hard to say. Some people you can see, oh, they have better prices, but also the time to investigate is important to have them fully prove that it's going to be a great developer.
yes, and also I think part of the premise is that what makes a good developer is that they also have management system for the post sale, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that's something important. Because I mean, the more or less kind of 95% of the times things will be finalized. I mean, it's really hard to. I think the problem is not the properties to not be finished. The problem I think is what goes next. What happens next if you don't get I know something that was as advertised or something as promised, or you get a fail in the post delivery, or even how you will manage the property. Because sometimes I have seen in my experience, I have seen uh, developments being finished all in time and everything, but they were trying to learn how to manage the properties, and after you haven't arrived, you have very crazy things, or the building is dirty because there is no a good cleaning company. This kind of things is what we observe, because I know, remembering in the old times, we have been helping some delivery projects with other operation to sell and have like the good experience and the bad experience there. And the bad experience, yes, like there was a new company managing things. Uh, the building was super. The all was super in terms of demand generation. The cleaning, the staff was super. Because why? Because the management company was like the first time managing something. So of course,
Okay.
that's everything looking great. But when you deliver to somebody that's managing for the first time, of course, there will be a learning curve. Um, you have to believe that they have good faith too, right? Because I mean, this is the other thing. We in the other side, we saw another other project that has a very solid track record. The company that was managing has 5 years in the market in Mexico and like 10 years in Europe. So everything was much greater. So I think that's part of what you need to understand when you purchase a project that has immediate delivery, because and even in pre-sale, because you have to see what's coming next. So I recommend, because I think here is a cool podcast, because Vero is more in the emotional lifestyle and that, I think more in the number and the goal, like looking this like an investment, pure investment, nothing else. Like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, the beach is nice, but what comes next? I'm doing a problem. So that's also exercise. Try to to prevent that people end doing a problem. But also later is not easy to get out of
Exactly. That's what
that
we are
spot,
here.
right? So yes, I think so. Yes, that's why we are here. So yes, I think that's the highlight of what is doing pre-sale versus immediate delivery. Both
And
options are really
Emiliano,
cool, but you have to have the patience to nurture and work with professionals and know what they are doing.
awesome. Yes, great. And Emiliano, to talk a little bit the payment plans, what is usually the scheme or the way that we pay in the pre-sale? Like, I understand it's kind of like it's like a down payment, or more like a to reserve the property, that is going to be something like $5,000, sometimes less, right? And then it's like depends of the development is going to be 10 to 30%. Can you talk a little bit about how it's usually? I know every developer is different, but how it's like usually happens in Riviera Maya?
Yeah, sure. The more usual workflow there for winning a property is that basically you make a reservation of the unit with $5K. After that, the down payment, the average is 30% of the value of the property.
Mm-hmm.
It's like to reserve your spot. If you want to go more aggressive and offer 80, 90, you can get very good discounts depending on the phase of the project. But the usual is 30%, and after that, monthly payments, and upon delivery, you have to cancel whatever is the remaining of the amount that you have there. So basically, is the most usual is $5K for reservation, 30% down payment, cover the 90% of the value until finished, and upon delivery, you cancel the next 10%. That's basically the usual work.
Yeah, and that time is going to also depends on the time of the construction, right? Sometimes it's going to be, if you start with something that is going to be finished in 2 years, yeah, you will have 2 years to pay that. And sometimes some of our clients kind of see what is going to be the way they will pay at the end. Sometimes it's just going to be that 30%, and then they will get a financing. We will talk about financing in another time, but yeah, we are right now talking about the pre-sale. That is what we most recommend, because it's where you can avoid paying interest, right? And you can get that benefit of getting a better rate, and knowing that your property, when it's finished, when it's done, is going to appreciate, like us, right? We bought in 2021 when the property was delivered. Right now it's like 50-60K more, right? And it's just a little bit more, like year and a half. And that's what you can get from those construction projects under construction and entering in a pre-sale. And we can point you to those projects that you can get the better rates and better prices.
Yes, exactly. And I think like a last comment, something interesting that I see also when the customer has good cash on hand is that you can also, because I think something that is we should highlight is that not every project in pre-sale you need to wait 2 years, because you have like I know, to pay 80% of the payment. Maybe it's much better to, as we have one of the customers that purchased this month, is like you put the 80% and you put in a project that makes delivery in 2, 3 months, 4 months. So you are getting the pre-sale price, but you are getting the best of the two worlds, because you are sure that they are going to deliver the project because it's almost finished. I know it's like painting and not much, I know, things like that, like super simple stuff. And you see the project builder, you can leave the area, and also you get still the pre-sale deals. So, and if you could give them a good cash amount, you get a discount and maybe make you being back 1 year in time for the price of 1 year ago, right? So I think that this combines the best of the two worlds. The downside, maybe you want to see it like that, is that you have to put more money, right, for the down payment. But it's also a great workflow that when we have many customers that opt in for that.
Yeah, and it's when we call cash is king, right? And it's a great way to see the benefit of having cash. and also it's important to consider that we are talking here beautiful properties that are less than $200,000, right? This is something to. It's not that we are talking about $1 million property that is going to be hard to get $1 million cash. Of course, if you have it and you want something beachfront, there are projects like that, but we are talking here beautiful projects that can go from 150 to 250, and you can get something that is going to be very nice. I mean, we are based in the state of Colorado, and you cannot even get a studio for that amount. Not even, I can sometimes parking spots can cost you $60K. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Sounds great. Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. We will talk next about financing. Keep in touch, and we will talk about other payment options. But today we were focusing pre-sale and why it's important to choose the right developer. You need to investigate that and make sure that you are investing with the right company, and we are here to support you.